day and welcome to another exciting episode of Debunking Myths. My name is Luvuyo Mdeni, and of course, this is the show that we speak about anything that we've seen on social media, be it myths, be it truth, that has anything to do with COVID-19. Over the past few months, we've been literally speaking about everything that you might have seen. Again on the show, I'm very happy to be joined by Cayley, who's from Africa Czech. Good day, Cayley. How are you?
Hi, Luvuyo. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you very much for joining us again. I think we've had you before on the show, and it was very fun. How has it been like for you over the past few months since we've last spoke?
So I think just as the number of coronavirus cases in South Africa is declining, and the same in other countries around the world, we're also seeing a decline in the spread of misinformation, which is good news for us at Africa Czech. But misinformation also has a way of adapting to real life circumstances. So whereas in the beginning we were seeing lots of false claims around cures and preventative measures, you'll recall last time we spoke, we did a debunk about whether alcohol can cure coronavirus. This time we're seeing slightly different claims around things like masks and infrared thermometers, about different viruses popping up in other countries. So claims that are related to COVID-19 and which kind of play on our current situation and which also sometimes catch us off guard.
And it's interesting to note that, I mean, as I'll call it virus progressed, we've gone on to know a lot more about the virus than we did a couple of months ago. But interestingly, like you mentioned, the myths have started to change. And I want to speak of a couple of them that I've seen on social media. And the first of which relates to thermometers damaging a part of the brain.
Yes, so this message has been doing the rounds on Facebook, WhatsApp. It's even featured in a YouTube video. And it warns that infrared thermometers may be causing damage to the pineal gland located in the center of our forehead. And you can see why people might be a little bit concerned about this. I mean, many of us have our temperatures taken every day when we go to school, to work, or to the shops.
Of course. I mean, a temperature reading has also become a key part in contact tracing for the virus, as well as to making sure that infected people do not spread the virus. However, is there any truth to this message, though?
So the first thing we wanted to know is, what is the pineal gland? And it's a real gland located deep in the skull, not in the center of the forehead, as the message claims. And the next thing that we wanted to know was whether they were in any way dangerous. Now, according to the message, infrared thermometers release a beam of light that zaps the pineal gland. But the thing about thermometers is that they're designed to detect infrared light. They can't emit it. Okay. So when a thermometer is placed against your forehead, it's actually looking for infrared light. It can't be seen by humans, but it can be felt in the form of heat. So in other words, thermometers are detecting this body heat coming off of you and determining how hot your body is depending on the intensity of the light.
So in essence, what can we deduce from all of this? What are the health experts saying?
Well, the bottom line is that it's perfectly safe to have your temperature taken by an infrared thermometer. Health experts that we've spoken to have said there are absolutely no side effects of this.
So that's a myth bust. We can safely conclude that infrared thermometers are safe and they do not damage any part of the brain.
Correct.
Wow. Now let's move on to another one.
So next we have a claim about a virus, not the coronavirus, another virus. So just when you think that 2020 can't get any worse, we see messages about a new disease supposedly spreading in China. So it says that 37 people have contracted the disease in the first half of the year, and that a further 23 people have contracted the disease in the eastern province of Anhui. And this message has really been doing the rounds. It was viewed over 200,000 times in the first week that it was posted to Facebook.
So I've seen this post as well. And I think the most concerning part of this is that this started around the 9th of August. As much as you say that it's been viewed over 200,000 times in the past week, but this comes from August. And it's appeared in a number of other websites.
It spread quite prolifically. And I think what is sometimes scary about this is it talks about something called the SFTS virus, and it refers to a severe fever with thrombocytopenia syndrome. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's basically a disease caused by a virus carried by ticks. So we know that ticks are tiny animals in the arachnid family, so including spiders, and they bite and feed off of the blood of animals and people. Their bites actually can cause a number of diseases, so Lyme disease and Colorado tick fever. But the virus that this message is talking about is not new. It actually emerged in China in 2009, and it spreads through bites from the Asian longhorn tick.
So this isn't something that should raise our alarm bells, should it?
Not necessarily. I mean, to sum up, there has been an outbreak of a disease in China, but it is not a new disease.
So there we have it. I think that's another myth bust. There is no new virus that has come out of China, as the post suggests, and we can be safe to knowing that there's no new virus. Is that what you're telling me, Cayley?
That's correct.
Okay, that's lovely. So another post that I want us to speak about. This is actually very peculiar one for me, because from time and time again, we find posts and we see posts on social media that consistently find their way back. And this is a blast from the past for me, and it involves the South African police. Have you seen it?
We have. So this claim that you're talking about is actually quite old, and it's still doing the rounds on WhatsApp. We like to call these zombie claims because they refuse to die.
Yeah.
And it was actually originally a Facebook post that says the South African police confiscated 200 food parcels donated by a church to a community of white people in South Africa. So the post also included 3 photos of children, 2 of them who looked extremely thin. And the post was basically suggesting that these children were from South Africa, that they were living in an informal settlement in a suburb near Pretoria.
So when posts of this nature appear, they come with pictures. And I mean, it's easy to believe what you see in pictures.
So we started with the pictures, and the first thing that I will say is that none of these pictures were actually taken in South Africa. The first picture that you see of a child in pink was taken in Syria in 2016 by a photographer with the UN Children's Fund. The second picture of a boy sitting in mud was published to a blog in 2016. And the last photo, also of a boy, was actually a case of child abuse from the US in 2014. So none of them have any relation to South Africa.
So basically, based on the pictures, we can easily conclude that this isn't true, and this is just another one of those myths that are spreading false information, not only about the South African police, but also about food parcels being delivered across the country.
Correct. I mean, the pictures themselves were unrelated, but the claim is also false. A member of the Gauteng provincial legislature from the DA released a message saying so. She was with the group who wanted to donate these food parcels, and although the police did say they needed a permit to donate the food was not confiscated.
Cayley, thank you very, very much. I think this has been one of those insightful episodes where you've literally shared across the board the amazing work that you guys do at Africa Check. And is there anything that you would like to highlight for our audience in terms of what's going on at Africa Check, in terms of fact-checking all these myths that we see on social media?
So if users are interested, they can always sign up to receive these kind of debunks twice a month in a WhatsApp voice note show. The number to subscribe to is 082 709 3527. And yeah, we can add you on our side and start debunking some of the messages we see on WhatsApp.
Of course, we will put up that message on the screen so that people can be able to, subscribe to that wonderful channel that I'm also part of. So Cayley Clifford, who's a researcher at Africa Check, I'd like to say thank you very much for giving us your time in terms of debunking a lot of these myths that we see on social media related to COVID-19. And from here on, I'd like to say thank you to the audience for watching as well. Until our next show, bon voyage.